Hi there, this is Eshu. I'm the abbot here at Zenwest Buddhist Society. This Living Zen-podcast is just one of the many resources we've created at Zenwest to make Zen practice and training more available and accessible to people all over the world. Instructional videos, printable resources, and much, much more are also available on our website at www.zenwest.ca. If you're a regular listener, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop me an email at office@zenwest.ca and let me know who you are, how you got started, and what brought you to Zen. Everything we make available in person and online at Zenwest is only possible because of the support of our members and associates, people like you. If the efforts of our community are making a difference in your life, I'd like to invite you to show your support and take part in making it happen by becoming an associate or member of the Zenwest Sangha. You can do this by clicking the Join Us tab on our website at www.zenwest.ca. Thank you for your support, and thanks for listening. Please feel free to make yourself comfortable. You can turn towards me if you'd like to see the exciting action. First, I'd just like to start by asking everybody to just put both of your hands up in the air as high as you can. Okay. Now, really high. Okay, that's good. All right, everybody stand up. Okay. Oh yeah, you can put your hands down now. That's good. Okay. All right, sit back down. Thanks for entertaining me. There's a point to this. Zen practice, one of the old masters, Mumon was his name, liked to point out that as human beings going through this world, we tend to live our lives like ghosts. He uses this phrase, clinging to bushes and weeds. Each of us has a self. Each of us has this collection of habits and preferences and things we like and dislike and we want to avoid. And we sort of stick them all together, our history, and we call that thing a self. And from the confines of that structure that we call a self, we look out into the world and we like to maintain kind of as much space as we can between what we call inside and what we call outside. So Mumon says we go through life like ghosts clinging to bushes and weeds. So this little exercise, I say, okay, put your hands up as high as you can, and everyone puts their hands up. And they say, no, really put them up, and everyone puts them up. So why the space? Why the reservation? Everyone's sitting down, and I say, stand up. And if we look at what's going on inside of our body when something like that happens, there's this hesitation, there's this gap, this space, why am I standing? Why do I have to? I don't want to do this. I'm sitting down right now. And then we finally stand up. Okay, now sit down. 2 seconds ago, you didn't want to stand up. Why is it that now it's the last thing that you want to do? These are just small, very quick examples of how it is that we're constantly in our life as it's unfolding. We're kind of resisting being a full participant in the ongoing activity of our lives. We do it all day. We do it every day. We do it action after action after action. When I was a kid, I always remember my parents complaining about it was very hard to get me into the bath. And then once I had gotten into the bath, it was very difficult to get me out of the bath. Always, we're doing this sort of, ooh. Why? Why do we do this? Our practice, Zen practice, we have a lot of form. We have a lot of guidelines. You might even say rules. Already this evening, this poor newcomer shifting around in his seat in Eshu, sit still! Why? Why do we do that? This practice that we have is really very simple, and it's based on this principle that we spend so much of our lives creating this gap, essentially, fundamentally, avoiding the experience of the unfolding activity of life that's happening not just right in front of us, not just all around us, but even through us. We hold back from participating. So we come to this nice environment that's created and upheld and facilitated by a whole bunch of people who come early and set it all up and dim the lights and light candles and burn incense. If you ever had a date like that, it'd be like you'd be into that, right? Because that's a lot of effort. So we make a lot of effort to create just this space. And what are we going to do in this space? Well, not much. We're going to sit down and we're going to take up this nice, straight, stable posture, and we're going to breathe into our abdomens, and we're going to open up all of our senses, and the only thing that's asked of us is to just fully be here. One Zen master had this phrase, shikantaza, which is often translated as just sitting. But the way that I want you to understand that tonight is all you're doing is sitting fully, sitting so fully that there's no room, no space left for you to be worried about what's going on at work tomorrow, what's going on in your relationship that you're going to have to deal with after this, what you're going to have as a snack before you go to bed, what your next choice in your course calendar is going to be. If we're completely employed, completely immersed in this simple activity of just sitting, then we're engaging in what Zen practice is pointing at. We all have this experience of just doing something. I was sitting and thinking, where are some places where spontaneously this arises? I think as a parent, if your child, you're doing something in another room, your child is in another room, and suddenly there's like a, help! The space that you may have been enjoying at that time, the distance from whatever activity that you're doing, or whatever thoughts or fantasies or memories or that you're experiencing at that time, it closes very rapidly, and your whole body, what? And you move, you go to it. There's one. Another one, I think, is maybe after you've been in the bush, camping or something like this for a week or 2 weeks, and you come home and suddenly there's this beautiful big meal with sort of freshly cooked food and greens from the garden and whatever you like to drink is there. Then again, everything, the smells, everything is just disappears. The distance between what we call inside and what we call outside disappears, and you're completely 100% engaged in that activity. Another one I was thinking about is you meet face-to-face the person whom you desire, and that person looks at you in the eyes and says, "Take me completely." And again, the space disappears and your whole energy, your whole vibrancy, the whole cosmos fills the body, and there is dynamic action. There's no space for, oh, gee, I wonder what this could mean, or oh, I wonder how I might interpret this circumstance, or oh, I wonder what the meaning of him asking me this or her asking me this. It's gone, and there is only this powerful, vibrant, living activity that fulfills us all. Another way is just, ha! I shout, and everyone goes, oh! And just for a second, we're all here, fully here, 100% here, vibrating here. But you can watch, even as I start to talk about it, we recede. Distance grows, we step back, we start thinking about this. And these moments of vibrant living, these moments of completely manifesting, completely fulfilling, completely embodying the energy, the dynamism, the spark of life, when we sit back and look at our lives, how many moments are they in the grand scheme? Pretty few and far between, like looking up at the night sky and saying, how many points of light? There's a lot of darkness, a lot of distance, a lot of separation. So we have this experience. Everybody has it. You can have it in a million different ways. It's not just the sort of coarse and obvious examples that I give. We also have these experiences innumerable times every day as well. Sometimes we have them, we can be listening to music. Sometimes we can be creating art. Sometimes we can be just riding our bike, having a impassioned conversation, or even just laughing at a joke or something funny that we see. Laughing is a great one. I always think of this one because when something funny happens, we laugh. There's no contemplation of it. There's no separating from it. We laugh and then we separate and we say, that was so funny. I like how we separate and then we start talking about it, but we stop laughing at that point. Interesting. So our practice, this practice, as I said, there's lots of rules, there's lots of guidelines. You've got to bow here and walk in step, and these are all facets of a mirror of practice. They're all opportunities for us as we come together to serve one another, to serve ourselves, to be served by this form of practice which continuously invites us to embody our whole lives. First, to witness how frequently we flip on the autopilot switch, how frequently we sort of catch the gist of what's going on in our lives and kind of tune out. All right, I kind of know how this goes. And if it doesn't go that way, I'll improvise. So over and over, we have these sharp corners in Zen. We have these crisp bows, this attentive, embodied posture. And this is so that we can remind ourselves, so that we can be reminded, and so that we can remind each other to wake up, to be in our lives, to be awake. This word Buddha, Zen Buddhism, Buddha's on the Butsudan. The word Bud means awake. And so the Buddha the word literally means the one who is awake. If you want to take Buddhism, it is the practice of becoming awake or waking up. So it's not like a religion we're going to come and worship. When we look at the Buddha, the one who is awake, it's not just a guy in 500 BC who lived in, the suburban Himalayas. The one who is awake is that embodied being when we hear our child calling for help. It is the embodied being when we see that meal spread out in front of us, or when our lover offers us themselves completely, or when we hear that beautiful piece of music. You can't see the Buddha, because in that moment there's no space, there's no separation, there's no inside and outside. It is only the manifestation, the interacting of the complete cosmos. There's nobody there to talk about Buddha. There's nobody there to talk about being awake. There's nobody there to talk about the subtleties of the score. So we bring things back to the most fundamental in this practice. Just like anything we want to learn how to do. If we want to learn how to swim, we don't jump off a ocean-going vessel into 20-foot swells. We'll die. If we want to learn how to ride a bike, we don't start at the top of a mountain on a $3,000 mountain bike. Go! We will die. If we want to learn how to embody this cosmic activity in the activity of our lives, in the activity of our everyday lives, we start with just this simple activity of sitting. We create an environment that's absolutely conducive. We create an environment that's totally supportive. And we ask that all you do is simply be. Be sitting as you sit. Be the walking as you walk. Chant as you chant. Only chant as you chant. Be clear, be aware of how it is that we immerse and disappear into an activity and how we break apart and look at the activity. Take this clarity that we have, that we awaken to, that we realize in this formal environment, and begin to apply it in your everyday activities, in your everyday life, and how you make relationship with the people that you're making relationship with, and how you do your work. This is why we have all of these rules. It's not just so I can yell at people. Okay, thank you. Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.